Hello and welcome to the part 2 of the Tableau public overview. I'm going to create a second chart that looks at the evolution of the CO2 emissions over time. To do so, I'm going to open up a new worksheet by clicking on the plus sign on the bottom here, and that will open up a new worksheet. And it gives it a default name of sheet 2. I'm going to use the field called CO2 per capital. So I'm just going to double click on that, and that will add that to the sheet. Next, I want to see the changes over time. So here on the left, I'll double click on year, and that will project the changes over time for CO2 emissions. Next, I'm going to add the country name information, so I just drag the country name field. I'm going to drop that inside the canvas area. From the chart, you can see that Qatar, which stood out in the previous chart, is now seeing a downward trend of emission of CO2. We can see that Trinidad and Tobago has an increasing trend of CO2 emission. Once I'm happy with my chart, I'm going to add some basic formatting to it like I did in the previous chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the CO2 per capital and drop that inside the color tile, and I'm going to click on it and then edit the colors. I'm going to select a color, so I'm going to go for red, black, diverging. I'm going to click on reversed, click on apply, and click OK. The next thing I'm going to do is to rename my worksheet from sheet number 2. So I right click on the worksheet tab and then select rename and just give it the appropriate name. I've renamed my second worksheet to CO2 emission chart. The next thing I want to do is to combine the two charts I have created into a dashboard. To create a dashboard, on the bottom here, the middle icon here, click on that. I can see on the left hand side that I have created two charts. So these are the names of my chart. To begin creating the dashboard, I'm going to add the first chart, which is the CO2 per capital. So I'm just going to drag that and drop that here. Next, I'm going to add the second chart to the dashboard area. So I just grab that here and drop that there. I can choose the size of my dashboard on the left here under sizes, depending on where I plan to share or embed the final visualization. Also in this area here called the legend, I can move it or remove it. So I'm going to click on the X to remove it, and I'll click on it again, click on the X, and that gets rid of the legend. I can make the map, which is this element I've clicked on here. I can make it a filter of the second element by clicking on the filter option here that says use as filter. So I click on it, and that will make this as a filter for the second element underneath. By clicking on Qatar on the map, I get to see the timeline for Qatar in the chart below. If I click on it again, this resets the view back. If I wanted to, I could spend more time formatting the dashboard. So here in this area here, we've got some objects we can use to format the dashboard. For example, I could add a title to the dashboard. I could add annotations, I could add images, and even web pages to this visualization. I'm going to add a title to the visualization. So I'm just going to drag this title text and drop that in there. And then in here, I can just add the title I want. So I've added the title here, and you can also format the text within the title area. For example, this one here, I've increased the text, I've made it bold, and this one is just a normal small text. So you can format whatever text you add in here. So I'm going to click OK to that, and you can see the title I've added to the visualization. You can resize elements or objects in the dashboard. For example, this title I've just added, I can just resize it just by dragging that up. Once I'm happy with my visualization, I can publish my chart to the web. To do that, click on File, and there's an option to save to Tableau Public. So click on that. To publish your visualization on the web, you need to have an account profile on Tableau Public. You can sign up for a free one by going to public.tableau.com and then create an account. It allows you to store up to 10 GB of visualization. So I've already got an account, so I'm going to pop my email address in and my password. Once you successfully log in, you'll be presented with this dialog box to give your workbook in Tableau Public a name. So I'm going to give the visualization a good name. I'm going to call it CO2 emission changes over time. So I've given the workbook a name, so I'm going to click Save, and that will save my visualization into the Tableau Public platform. So you can see here saving the workbook to Tableau Public. Tableau Public opens up your visualization in your web browser. To test that the interactivity between my charts in the visualization still works in the web-based version, I can change the view because both charts are linked via a filter. So if I click on the red dot there where it says Qatar, the view on the bottom chart should change. You can see the view have changed for the CO2 emission chart. If I click on the red dot again, it will revert back to the previous view. As you can see, the view has returned, which indicates that the interaction between the two charts has not been lost. So the published web-based version of the visualization works like the desktop-based version. I can also share my visualization via social media or email by clicking on this link here. It allows me to share my visualization via social media or email. Also, I can copy the embed code and paste it into the HTML of my website or my blog. As you can see, Tableau Public allows you to explore, to create, and to publish your data visualizations. I hope this overview of Tableau Public has been useful. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.